Good afternoon to one and all. This is Ekta Jain here from the Department of Physics, Barkatullah University, Bhopal. I have prepared this lecture for MSc Physics students, and here I am going to teach them electronic devices paper, and in which we will be focused on unit number 3, memory devices. As you are able to see on this slide that the memory is divided into two categories, primary memory and secondary memory. Now, the primary memory is further divided in RAM, random access memory, and ROM, read-only memory. The RAM is further divided into two categories, DRAM and SRAM. Here, D for dynamic RAM and S for static RAM. And ROM is further divided into three categories, PROM, EROM, EEROM. Now come on the secondary memories. Secondary memories are basically divided into two categories, magnetic memory and optical memory. Magnetic memories like floppy disk and optical memories like CD and DVD. This slide presents the storage devices. So, what are storage devices? A storage device can be used in the computers to store the data. It provides one of the core functions of the modern computer. What can be the type of storage? There are mainly two types of storage, primary memory and secondary memory. So, first we will discuss about primary memory. What is primary memory? Primary memory is also known as main memory. Main memory is directly or indirectly connected to the central processing unit via a memory bus. The CPU continuously reads instructions stored there and executes them as required. The example of primary storage are RAM, ROM, and cache memory. Now we will come on RAM. It is called random access memory because any of the data in RAM can be accessed just as fast as any of the other data. There are two types of RAM, DRAM and SRAM. D stands for dynamic random access memory and S for static random access memory. Now, I want to tell you some fine difference between static RAM and dynamic RAM. Static RAM uses transistor to store a single bit of data, while DRAM uses a separate capacitor to store each bit of data. SRAM does not need periodic refreshment to maintain data, while DRAM needs periodic refreshment to maintain the charge in the capacitor for data. SRAM structure is complex than DRAM, while DRAM structure is simplest than SRAM. SRAM are expensive as compared to the DRAM, while DRAMs are less expensive as compared to the SRAM. SRAMs are faster than DRAM and DRAMs are slower than SRAM. SRAMs are used in cache memory while DRAM are used in main memory. Here I have shown the pictures of static RAM and dynamic RAM. Now I'll throw light on ROM. What is ROM? This memory is used as computer begins to boot up. Small programs called firmware are often stored in ROM chips on hardware devices, and they contain instructions the computer that can be used in performing some of the most basic operations required to operate hardware devices. ROM memory cannot be easily or quickly overwritten or modified. Now, the third type of memory is cache memory. Cache is a high-speed access area that can be either or a reserved section of main memory or a storage device. Most computers today come with L3 cache or L2 cache, while older computers included only L1 cache. These were the categories of primary memories. Now come on the secondary storage. What is secondary storage? Actually, it is not directly accessible by the CPU. Computer usually uses its input and output channels to access secondary storage and transfer the desired data using intermediate area in primary storage. The example of secondary storage like hard disk. Now we have studied the primary and secondary storage. Now come on the storage device features like volatility, accessibility, mutability and addressability. Now I will explain one by one. Volatility. There might be two types of volatility. The first one is volatile memory and second one is non-volatile memory. What are the volatile memories? Volatile memories requires constant power to maintain the stored information. It is fastest memory technologies. All contents are erased when the system's power is turned off or interrupted. It has been more popularly known as temporary memory, non-volatile memory. It will retain the stored information even if it is not constantly supplied with the electric power. It means when electric power cuts off, the data will be erased from this memory. Non-volatile memory is the device which keeps the data even when the current is off. And it is suitable for the long-term storage of information. Now, the next feature is accessibility. It refers to the reading or writing data records. There are two types of accessibility. First is random access and then sequential access. Random access means we can jump directly to any one of the location. But in sequential access we have to jump one by one. The next feature is mutability. Mutability allows information to be overwritten at any time. Addressability. There might be three types of addressability like location addressable, file addressable and content addressable. These were the basics or fundamentals of the storage devices. Now come to the main topic, that is NMOS and CMOS. Now I will tell you the fine difference between NMOS and CMOS. Here on the screen you can see the diagram of NMOS and PMOS. Both when we combine both NMOS and PMOS, it will be called CMOS. And here the symbols B, S, G and D, it represents S for source, D for drain and G for gate. And if we are seeing the NMOS, if it is NMOS, the substrate will be P, and if it is PMOS, the substrate will be N. It is shown here. So now come on the difference of CMOS and NMOS. The most popular semiconductor technology, MOSFET technology obtained today is the CMOS technology. The term CMOS stands for complementary MOS. It means complementary metal oxide semiconductor technology. The main benefit of CMOS technology over NMOS and bipolar technology is the power dissipation. When the circuit activates, then only power dissipates. The main feature of this technology are high noise immunity and low static power consumption. CMOS technology is used in digital logic circuits to control ICs, microprocessors, static RAM, microcontrollers, etc. This technology is also used in numerous analog circuits like image sensors, data converters, and in highly integrated transceivers. This allows fitting several CMOS gates on IC, then bipolar and NMOS technology. Now this picture was about CMOS. Now to be more clear about this, we will separately study NMOS and PMOS. First of all, we will see the advantages of CMOS technology. Like static power consumption is very low, the complexity of the circuit reduces, high density of logic functions on a chip, static power consumption is very low, high noise immunity. Now, I will throw some light on NMOS technology. It is very clear from its name, NMOS, it means N for negative. It means it is for electrons. Let's see point-wise point. The acronym of NMOS is negative channel metal oxide semiconductor. It is pronounced as ENNMOSS, NMOS. It is a kind of semiconductor that charges negatively so that transistors are switched by the electrons movement. In difference, positive channel MOS or PMOS works by moving electron positions. NMOS technology is faster than PMOS technologies. So these was the basics about NMOS, PMOS and CMOS. So thank you.